this episode of Pete's Garden. It's the end of a long day, and in this episode I have been planting tomatoes and sowing some salad leaves into containers. So if you're new, please do click subscribe, and I'll see you after the titles. So, the other day I had an accident with some seedlings, some tomato seedlings. So I thought that for the greenhouse variety, I had better go and buy some plants. And they are Ailsa Craig. There we are. And you can smell the lycopene coming off them. And as you can see, they've been in the greenhouse a couple of days, and they're a little bit leggy. Oh, lovely smell coming off them. Now, I'm a bit pushed for room in here. I operate a kind of no-dig method. So all I've done is rake this soil over and weed it. This is the first time that I've ever grown tomatoes to harvest in the greenhouse. So, and I know I'm not doing it in grow bags or pots with bottoms cut out like a lot of people do. I'm planting almost up to the bottom 2 leaves, because if you don't know, I don't know if you can see this, but there are some little hairs on the stem all the way down underneath the bottom 2 leaves, and when you plant up to that point, those hairs become roots. So if you want the things to have a good root structure, then it can be a good idea to plant up to just below those first 2 leaves. I don't know if I've said, but the variety is Ailsa Craig, and it's a mainly greenhouse variety. So, in other words, it can be quite tricky. It doesn't always harvest well outside, but it apparently harvests very well in a greenhouse. And it's a good idea, I think anyway, if you've got a greenhouse, to use the greenhouse varieties for things. These stakes are only 4 feet tall, well 4 or 5 feet anyway, because it's not a massively tall greenhouse this. and I didn't want to risk damaging the greenhouse cover at the top. So there we are, but this greenhouse does have various poles in it, so I shall tie them to those as they grow upwards. Right, last one. This was actually meant to be a strip of 3, but I had a good look and found one with a 4th one in there that was almost as good as the other 3. So there we go. This one I've just noticed is being eaten a little, but I've had a good look around the greenhouse today, as I do every now and again, and I've taken out all of the slugs and snails that I can find, and if it's not that, well, I've taken out quite a lot of the little insects every time I see them flying around as well. So there we are. I'll just water these in, and that is my greenhouse tomatoes for the first 4 anyway of my greenhouse tomatoes for this year. And I do know obviously that as they get older, you just water around the roots and you make sure you don't water the leaves, but that's for when they're bigger. So I've got all these prunings from last year's fruit bushes, and I quite like to use them as pea sticks. So I just take the end off there and then cut them. I'll probably cut this one into 3. And what I also like to use them as is sticks for putting over areas that I've just sown, which I will do in a minute. I've just sown some salad leaves and things, and you put these over the top so that any birds that come along don't pick them out thinking they're worms. I don't know why that's in there. That's a normal pea stick. And all of these other ones are quite small anyway, so I can now pick these things up and stick them over the seed area. There we go. And in this area we've got a row of cilantro coriander, spinach, Samish F1, mustard, oriental colour and bite mixture, and mixed salad leaves. They were watered in, and I shall get some more sticks in a moment. Right, so it's time for me to sow some things in pots, and these are things which I don't really have room for in the open ground, either here in the garden or in the allotment. So I'm putting them in pots, and they are, the first one is lamb's lettuce. Cover up the brand. Now, I've never grown lamb's lettuce before, not successfully anyway, so if you can tell me anything about it, then that would be much appreciated in the comments box below. Now, with all of these containers, I've put multi-purpose compost in the bottom 2/3, and then because I'm sowing seeds into them, I've put Johnny List #1 in the top part, and I'm going to wet the surface as well before we start. I'm just doing one pot of this lamb's lettuce. I hope you can hear me over the noise. That's what happens once you start to get to springtime. Apparently these are things which you could crop quite closely, as I am doing. I know it's also a winter thing, lamb's lettuce, and you can, I think, you can crop them when they're quite small, or just leave them and let them grow into mature things, which I won't do in a container like this, but we'll see. And for any beginners out there, the reason why you use quite thin soil or compost to sow stuff into is because you obviously want the seed to be able to get through the top of the soil. So, lamb's lettuce, Valentine. There we go. Next one is Mesclun, Oriental. It says here a mixture of many various Oriental vegetable and salad leaves, specially selected for picking at a young stage, and it says you want to plant very thickly, only between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 inch apart. The thicker sowing helps crowd out any weeds. And I'm putting them in these nicer pots because I think Mesclun will go well with the appearance of the pots. Paper packet. Not had those before. So it's a whole mixture of things. Here we go. I got this packet when I was out with some friends in Brixton at the back end of last year. So there we go. There we are. There we go. And I'll just get on now and do the other pot, and you will no doubt see progress of these things in the garden tours that I tend to do every other month or so. There we are. Mesclun. And that is the name of the mixture. Apparently it's not the name of any one of the things in it. It's just what they call that particular mixture. And there we go. So that's it for this episode of Pete's Garden. Thanks for watching. All my social media links are in the description. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as well, and there we go. If you're new, please do click subscribe and click the videos which are on screen now. Thanks very much, and there'll be another video coming up soon. Bye for now.